I still remember the day Jessa called me to tell me she was pregnant with Spurgeon. We were so young, and the world felt so small back then. Now, in 2026, I look at the photo she just shared of her 6 beautiful children, and I'm honestly speechless. Spurgeon is 10 years old now. A decade has passed since he changed our lives forever. I'm Jinger, and today I'm taking you inside a story that's very close to my heart. While I've found my path in the city, my sister Jessa has been building a legacy of her own in the heart of Arkansas. From the chaos of raising 6 kids under 10 to the quiet moments of faith that keep her going. This is the unfiltered truth about the Seewald family in 2026. How does she do it? What has she sacrificed? And what does Spurgeon's growth tell us about the future of the Duggar name? Let's walk through these 20 segments together and see the beauty in the chaos. Chaos. I was sitting in my kitchen in LA, just scrolling through my phone during a rare quiet moment when Jess's notification popped up. It was a new family portrait, all 8 of them. I think I forgot to breathe for a second. There they were, Spurgeon, Henry, Ivy, Fern, George, and little Edward. It wasn't just a photo. It was a map of the last 10 years of my sister's life. Seeing them all together in 2026 made me realize how much has changed since we were girls in the big house. We used to dream about our futures, but I don't think even Jessa could have imagined this beautiful, chaotic reality. Looking at their faces, I saw so much of our family, but I also saw something new. A sense of individuality that we didn't always have. Each child had a spark in their eyes that was all their own. It made me realize that while the world still sees us as the Duggars, Jessa is busy raising 6 unique individuals who are in to change the world in their own ways. It's hard to believe that Spurgeon is officially 10 years old. I remember the day he was born like it was yesterday. The excitement, the nerves, and the way the world seemed to stop for a moment. He was the first for Jessa and Ben, the baby who made them parents and made me an aunt in a way I hadn't felt before. Now, in 2026, he's not just a baby anymore, he's a leader. Seeing him in that recent photo, standing so tall, I realize he's become the eyes, he's become the anchor for his younger siblings. He has this maturity about him, a quiet wisdom that reminds me so much of Ben, but with that classic Duggar determination. A decade has passed, and watching him grow has been watching a new chapter of our family history being written. He carries a big name and a lot of public expectations, but Jessa has done such a beautiful job of letting him just be Spurgeon. He's reaching that age where he's forming his own thoughts and his own faith. And as his aunt, I couldn't be prouder of the young man he's becoming. People often ask me, Jinger, how does Jessa do it? How does she manage 6 children under the age of 10 without losing her mind? Honestly, sometimes I wonder the same thing. Jessa has always been the strongest among us sisters. Even when we were kids, she was the one with the plan, the one who never backed down from a challenge. But motherhood at this scale requires a different kind of strength, a quiet resilience that doesn't always make it into the highlight reels. In 2026, I see a Jessa who is more grounded than ever. She's learned that perfection isn't the goal, presence is. She handles the laundry, the homeschooling, the scraped knees, and the constant noise with grace that only comes from deep within. She doesn't have the film crews following her every move anymore, and I think that's been a blessing. It's allowed her to find her own rhythm as a mom. Her strength isn't just in her ability to organize a large household. It's in her ability to look each of those 6 children in the eye and make them feel like they are the only person in the room. That is her real superpower. Then there's Henry. If Spurgeon is the anchor, Henry is the heart. He's nearly 9 now, and he has always had this incredibly sweet, sensitive soul. As a child, he was often the quietest in the room, and I watched Jessa pour so much love and patience into him, especially during the years when people were so critical of his development. She never let the outside noise affect how she saw her son. Now, seeing him in 2026, he has blossomed into such a bright, kind-hearted boy. He has this way of looking at the world with wonder. In the family photos, you can see it in his smile. It's genuine and a little bit shy. He's the sibling who is always looking out for the toddlers, making sure Fern or George are okay. I think Henry represents a shift in our family, a move toward valuing sensitivity and emotional depth. He doesn't have to be the loudest to be heard. He is loved for exactly who he is. And watching Jessa champion him has been one of the most beautiful parts of her motherhood journey. And then comes Ivy Jane. Oh, Ivy, at 6 years old, she is a force of nature. We all call her Mini Jessa because she has that same spark, that same take charge attitude that her mama has always had. She's the eldest girl, and you can tell she takes that role very seriously. Whether she's helping with the baby or leading her brothers in a game, Ivy is always right in the middle of the action. Seeing her grow up in 2026 makes me smile because she has a confidence that took me years to find. Jessa is raising her to be bold and to use her voice. Ivy isn't afraid to express herself, whether it's through her bright outfits or her funny stories. She has this radiant energy that lights up every photo. I look at her and I see the future of the Duggar women, strong, independent, and full of life. She isn't growing up in the same shadow of Keep Sweet that we did. She's growing up knowing that her thoughts and her personality are a gift. She's a little firecracker, and I can't wait to see the woman she becomes. Kids in 10 years. When you say it out loud, it sounds like a whirlwind, and in many ways, it has been Jessa and Ben's life since 2015 has been a journey of constant growth, both in their family and in their hearts. In 2026, they have what we call a stair-step family. Spurgeon, Henry, Ivy, Fern, George, and now baby Edward. There is almost exactly 2 years between each of them. And that kind of consistency requires an incredible amount of physical and emotional stamina. I watch Jessa and I see the toll it takes, the sleepless nights that never quite end, because as soon as one baby sleeps through, another is born. But I also see the incredible reward. These children are growing up as a pack, a built-in support system that will be with them for the rest of their lives. Jessa has embraced the chaos of the little years with a focus that I truly admire. She isn't just surviving, she's building a culture within her home. It's a culture of helping one another, of shared responsibilities, and of a lot of laughter. Yes, there are piles of laundry and constant dishes, but there is also a level of life and energy in that house that is truly contagious. For a long time, the Seewalds lived in a cozy little starter home that many of our fans remember. But with 6 kids, they finally had to expand. And in 2026, they are fully settled into their newly renovated space. And it is a true reflection of who they are now. It's not just a Duggar style house, it's a Seewald home. Jessa has a wonderful eye for design. She's always been the sister who could make any space feel beautiful and organized. Their home is bright, modern, and designed for a big family to actually live in. It has a large open kitchen where Jessa spends a lot of her time, and a backyard where the kids can finally run free. What I love most about their house is that it doesn't feel like a showroom. It feels lived in. There are books everywhere. Ben's influence for sure, and toys that show where the kids have been playing. It's a place of hospitality. Whenever I visit, I feel a sense of peace despite the number of people inside. It's their sanctuary, a place where they've built a life that is entirely separate from the big house legacy. We can't talk about the Seewald family without talking about Ben. Over the last decade, I've watched Ben grow from a young man with a lot of zeal into a steady, dedicated father and pastor. In 2026, his role in the family is more vital than ever. He is Jessa's rock, while Jessa manages the household's daily rhythm. Ben provides the spiritual and emotional grounding. He is such a hands-on dad. You'll often find him sitting on the floor with the boys, talking about history or reading them stories or gently helping Ivy with a project. He's teaching his sons what it means to be a man of character. Someone who is kind, patient, and leads through service rather than control. Ben has also found his own voice in his ministry, moving away from the more rigid legalism of the past and toward a faith focused on grace. That shift has been so important for their family. It's allowed them to raise their 6 children in an environment where they are taught to love God because of his goodness, not because they're afraid of breaking a rule. And then we have the middle duo, Fern and George. Fern is 4 now, and George is 2. They are at such a precious, energetic age. Because they are so close in age, they are absolutely inseparable. Fern has this mothering instinct already, often trying to help George with his shoes or his snacks, while George is a little ball of energy, always trying to keep up with his older brothers. Watching them play together in the 2026 family photos reminds me of my own childhood, but with a difference. They aren't just number 5 and number 6. They are Fern and George. Jessa makes a point to celebrate their individual milestones. Fern is becoming a little storyteller, and George has the most infectious giggle you've ever heard. In a large family, it can be easy for the middle children to get lost in the shuffle, but Jessa and Ben work so hard to make sure they feel seen. They are the bridge between the big kids and the baby, and they bring so much light and humor to the Seewald household every single day. Finally, we have the newest addition, baby Edward Owen. He arrived in late 2025, and seeing him in Jessa's arms in the 2026 photos just melts my heart. He is the calmest little soul, or at least he seems to be in the photos. Every new baby brings a fresh sense of wonder to a family, and Edward is no exception. His older siblings are absolutely obsessed with him, especially Ivy, who takes her role as big sister very seriously. People always ask if Edward is the final piece of the puzzle for Jessa and Ben. Honestly, I don't know the answer to that, and I don't think they do either. They've always said they'll take as many children as God gives them. But they're doing it with such intentionality now. Edward isn't just another baby to them. He is a unique life with a unique purpose. As I look at him, I see the future. He's growing up in a home that is full of love, full of siblings, and full of a faith that is being redefined by grace. He is the youngest of the Seewald six, and for now, he is the sweet center of their world. Our lives in 2026 feel like they exist in two different worlds. I'm here in the heart of Los Angeles with my smaller, quieter family, while Jessa is in the familiar hills of Arkansas, managing a household that never truly sleeps. Sometimes when I feel overwhelmed by just my two girls, I stop and think of Jessa, navigating life with 6 children, all under the age of 10. Her life is a constant symphony of laughter, movement, and needs. My life here is about finding quiet spaces and individual moments with Jeremy and our daughters. But for Jessa, motherhood is a team sport. She has found fulfillment in building a large, vibrant family legacy in the place we've always called home. While my path led me to the modern energy of the city, Jessa's path led her deeper into the traditions of motherhood that she truly cherishes. Despite the miles between us and our different daily rhythms, our goal is the same: to give our children a home filled with safety and absolute love. I have so much respect for the boundless patience she shows every single day. One of the things Jessa and I talk about most is how we are raising our children differently than the way we were raised. We've made a conscious choice to keep our kids free from the fear and the heavy-handed rules that defined our own childhoods. When we catch up, we don't talk about authority or obedience in the way we used to. Instead, we talk about how to guide them with genuine love and understanding. In the world we grew up in, asking questions was often seen as a sign of a rebellious heart. But in Jessa's home in 20s to 26, I see children who are encouraged to be curious. She respects their individual personalities rather than trying to force them into a single mold. We've taken the good parts of our upbringing and discarded the legalism that caused so much pain. This is our version of disentangling, building a relationship with our children where we aren't just authority figures, but their safest place in the world. Jessa is proving that a large family can be a place of freedom rather than a place of control. With Spurgeon turning 10, it really feels like our family has entered a brand new era. As one of the oldest Duggar grandchildren, there's an invisible weight of expectation on him, But Jessa is working so hard to make sure he doesn't have to carry it. She isn't raising him to be a junior parent or a machine to watch over the younger ones. She wants him to just be a kid, to have a real childhood. 10 years ago, our lives were a public spectacle, monitored by cameras and a rigid brand. But Spurgeon is growing up with a level of privacy and autonomy that we never had. He's starting to figure out who he is, what he likes, and what he believes. Jessa has taught him that he doesn't have to be perfect to be loved. Watching him grow makes me realize that the next generation of our family is going to be so much more confident and self-aware. He isn't just a face in a crowd. He's a young man finding his own voice in a world that finally feels open to him. The truth is, the cameras only show the smiles, but Jessa's real work happens in the quiet, unfilmed hours of the day, managing 6 children, a home, and the constant demands of a large family is an exhausting feat that most people can't even imagine. I can hear the fatigue in her voice sometimes during our late night calls, the kind of tiredness that comes from giving every ounce of yourself to everyone else. These private battles make her even more of a hero in my eyes. People see her smiling in photos and assume it's all easy. But I know the sacrifice it takes to stay patient when the house is loud and the to-do list is endless. She doesn't do it for the praise or the likes on social media. She does it because she is fiercely devoted to those 6 souls. Her resilience isn't loud or flashy, but it's the heartbeat of the Seewald home. She's giving up her time, her energy, and her sleep to build a future for her children. And she does it with a grace that is truly humbling. In 2026, the bond between us sisters has reached a depth I never thought possible. When we were younger, we were often competing to be the most submissive or perfect daughter. But today, we are each other's greatest support system. We've walked through some incredibly dark valleys together. Jill, Jessa, and I, and those shared experiences have forged a sisterhood that is unbreakable. Jessa is the one I call when I'm having a hard day, and I know she does the same for me. We know each other's secrets. We understand each other's fears, and we celebrate each other's victories without any jealousy. These late night conversations are my lifeline. They remind me that no matter how much the world changes or how many rumors are flying, I have a sister who knows the real me. Jessa's journey through motherhood has been a source of inspiration for me, and I hope I've been the same for her. We aren't just sisters by blood. We are sisters by choice. And that makes all the difference. Education has always been a cornerstone of our family, but Jessa is approaching it in a way that feels so fresh and personalized in Twins Under 26. While we were homeschooled in a very rigid, one size fits all system, Jessa looks at her 6 children and sees 6 different learning styles. She isn't just following a manual, she's following their interests. Whether it's Spurgeon's deep dives into history or Henry's creative projects, Jessa is nurturing their minds without the pressure of performance. She wants them to be critical thinkers, not just rule followers. Watching her sit at the kitchen table with them, surrounded by books and curiosity, I see a future where these kids aren't afraid to ask why. She is giving them the tools to build their own futures, ensuring that they have the academic and spiritual foundation to go wherever God calls them, whether that's in Arkansas or far beyond. Living your life in the public eye is a heavy burden, especially when you're raising a large family. Even now, in 2026, Jessa faces a level of scrutiny that most mothers will never understand. People have opinions on everything from how many kids she has to the way she decorates her home or the clothes her children wear. It's hard not to let those comments get to you. I've seen Jessa handle the criticism with a quiet dignity that is truly inspiring. She's learned to filter out the noise and focus on what's happening inside her 4 walls. She doesn't feel the need to defend her choices to the internet anymore. She knows her heart. She knows her children, and she knows her God by stepping back from the constant reality TV spotlight. She's reclaimed her peace. She's teaching her kids that the only opinions and that truly matter are the ones from the people who love you most. Holidays have changed so much for us. Gone are the days of the massive televised celebrations at the big house. In 2026, the Seewald holidays are about intimacy and creating their own special magic. Jessa has a way of making even the smallest moments feel like a grand celebration. She's created traditions that are uniquely theirs. Simple things like specific meals, family games, and quiet evenings focused on the birth of Christ. There's no pressure to perform for a camera crew. When I hear her talk about their Christmases or birthdays, I hear the joy of a woman who has finally found her own rhythm. These traditions are the glue that holds her 6 children together, giving them a sense of belonging and stability that will stay with them long after they've grown up and started families of their own. What is the legacy Jessa is building? It's not about a TV show or a famous last name. In 2026, Jessa's legacy is love. It's in the way Spurgeon helps his brothers, the way Ivy looks at her mom with adoration, and the way the whole house lights up when baby Edward giggles. She is teaching them that they are loved unconditionally, not for what they do, but for who they are. She is breaking the cycle of fear-based parenting and replacing it with a foundation of grace. This legacy of love is what will carry them through the challenges of life. It's a quiet, powerful revolution happening in the heart of Arkansas. Jessa is proving that you can have a large family and still give each child the individual love and attention they deserve. She is building a kingdom of the heart, one child at a time. As I look at that 2026 photo of the Seewald 6, I don't just see a large family. I see my best friend's life work. Jessa, you have always been my anchor, the one I could turn to when the world felt overwhelming. Seeing you thrive as a mother of 6 fills me with so much pride. We've walked through fire together, and we've come out on the other side stronger and freer than we ever thought possible. No matter how many miles lie between LA and Arkansas, our hearts are always connected. Thank you for being the sister who stayed, the friend who listened, and the mother who leads with such incredible grace. To the world, you are a Duggar, but to me, you are simply Jessa, my brave, beautiful, and brilliant sister. I love you, and I can't wait to see what the next 10 years hold for the Seewald 8.